November 8, 1942. Sidi Ferruch Beach, Algeria. The initial waves of American infantry splashed ashore amid Operation Torch, the Allied push into North Africa. Among their gear lurked a device unfamiliar to nearly all. Packed in crates, stamped secret, were 5,000 fresh M1 rocket launchers, destined to earn the moniker Bazooka. To these soldiers, the items resembled enigmatic metal pipes, devoid of guidance, drills, or insight. They grasped little of how this unrefined gadget would upend the calculus of tank combat. Within under 2 years, it would compel German forces to overhaul their panzer strategies, ignite frantic replication attempts, and elevate the everyday American foot soldier from prey to predator in armored encounters. The bazooka's tale traces back several months to Aberdeen Proving Ground in Maryland on May 6, 1942. Colonel Leslie Skinner and Lieutenant Edward Uhl faced the task of showcasing anti-tank options to a dubious assembly of high-ranking officers. As the British laboured over cumbersome spigot mortars exceeding 100 pounds and demanding specialised teams, Uhl presented a starkly basic alternative. That dawn, he pieced together a makeshift model from discards, a steel tube scavenged from debris that matched the needed width, a wire hanger twisted into rudimentary sights, and basic wiring for ignition. The officers scarcely noticed it, fixated on the intricate mortars they favoured. Trials commenced with 5 spigot mortars targeting a rolling M3 Stuart tank from 150 yards. All missed. Burdened by weight, awkwardness, and intricacy, they faltered. Then Uhl advanced with his improvised device. Wary of the rear exhaust, he donned a welder's helmet, hoisted the tube, sighted via the hanger, and fired. The projectile streaked ahead and struck the tank's flank squarely. He chambered another in 5 seconds and scored again. General Barnes, head of research and engineering, chuckled at the oddity, likening it to comedian Bob Burns's bazooka horn. The label endured, yet crucially, Barnes mandated immediate manufacture of 5,000 units. This sparked one of the swiftest leaps from concept to volume output in United States military annals. General Electric, alongside other firms, ramped up to 5,000 launchers monthly by October 1942. Each demanded merely 20 pounds of steel, straightforward welds, and elementary electrics. Priced at about $25 per launcher and $8 per rocket, it featured a smooth, 54-inch tube weighing 13 pounds, able to breach 3 to 4 inches of flat plating at 200 to 300 yards, though sloped defenses diminished this sharply. Captain Franklin Johnson from Fort Benning noted that troops could master it in a single afternoon session versus weeks for the 37mm anti-tank cannon. A mere pair of infantrymen could tote the bazooka alongside their unit, instilling unprecedented assurance against mechanized foes. Yet during Operation Torch's North African assaults, near catastrophe loomed. Eisenhower uncovered mere hours pre-invasion that troops hadn't unpacked the novelties. Shipped in sealed secret crates, openings were barred until combat erupted. Soldiers deciphered them amid gunfire, sans manuals, or preparation. Compounding woes, saltwater en route corroded numerous rockets. The 509th Parachute Infantry logged that of their initial 20 rounds, only 7 functioned. Still, amid the turmoil, triumphs emerged. On November 10th, the 1st Armoured Division notched its debut successes. 2 French Renault tanks felled near Port Liauti. The tool proved viable. When operational, it soon confronted the Germans directly. In the Battle of Kasserine Pass come February 1943, Rommel's Afrika Korps surged through American lines, seizing undamaged launchers and ammunition stock. Swiftly dispatched to Germany, these prizes captivated engineers who lauded the design's lightness, scant resource demands, and solid penetration in March 1943 report. They hastened adaptations, enlarging the warhead to 88mm for amplified might. By September, the formidable Raketenpanzerbüchse 54, dubbed Panzerschreck or tank fright, rolled out. This imitation weighed 20 pounds, yet pierced up to 8 inches, outmatching the bazooka versus robust models like the Sherman or T-34. Germans further crafted the one-use Panzerfaust, an economical variant, churning out over 6 million by war's close. This rivalry underscored the bazooka's ignition of bilateral advancements, prompting tanks to adopt skirts and layered shielding against shaped explosives. Operation Husky's Sicilian incursion in July 1943 marked the bazooka's premier clash with German iron. Units now wielded the refined M1, one with superior munitions and rewired contacts to curb malfunction. At Biscari, 82nd Airborne Paratroopers landed a fabled strike, threading a Tiger's driver viewport, a rare vulnerability. German logs conceded that Allied foot troops now brandished rockets lethal to armor at 100 to 150 meters. Colonel James Gavin of the 505th Parachute Infantry penned that the bazooka bolstered his men's morale. Roughly a dozen to 24 German tanks succumbed to bazooka strikes in Sicily, with estimates varying by source. Critically, the once paralyzing dread of oncoming tanks, termed tank panic, started to wane. As combat shifted to Italy, the bazooka morphed into a multifaceted asset. Troops unearthed its prowess against strongholds, structures, and entrenchments beyond vehicles. Canadians in Ortona blasted breaches in masonry to sidestep lethal avenues. In the Pacific arena, Marines tailored white phosphorus variants to scorch Japanese fortifications and caverns on sites like Guadalcanal and Iwo Jima, expending nearly 2,000 rockets in the latter fray alone. This adaptability cemented its place in city and forest skirmishes. By early 1944, each United States infantry battalion stocked at least 24 launchers. German leaders grasped that solitary tank forays were obsolete. Orders decreed armor must pair with foot escorts into settlements and shun edifices within 100 meters sans scouting. Tankers affixed extra tracks, sand-filled sacks, and concrete slabs in frantic bids for safeguard. D-Day saw thousands of bazooka squads traverse Normandy shores. Amid bocage terrain, they proved vital. United States tallies attribute roughly 2 to 5% of German tank losses in their zone over the ensuing 6 weeks post-June 6 to bazookas, with air and artillery claiming the bulk. Inexpensive, mobile, and potent, they joined rifles and automatics as essentials. The Battle of the Bulge strained them in harsh winter. Cells iced over, fuels fizzled. Nonetheless, they neutralized or impaired about 20 to 30 German vehicles, per conservative records. Troops warmed munitions beneath garments for readiness. One sergeant recounted nailing a Panther's engine compartment at 75 yards, compelling evacuation. Though triumphant, the bazooka harbored flaws. Early iterations suffered ignition failures from moisture or frost, with misfire rates hitting 30 to 50% in field trial. The backblast's fiery plume risked burns to operators or allies and betrayed locations. Versus angled plating on Panthers or Tigers, efficacy plunged. Many hits merely crippled mobility rather than obliterated. In Korea later, the baseline model floundered against T-34s, birthing the 3.5-inch Super Bazooka to reclaim edge. These drawbacks imparted lessons on perpetual refinement, echoed in German Panzerschreck's facial guards against exhaust. The bazooka's flexibility extended skyward. Major Charles Carpenter, piloting a diminutive L-4 Grasshopper scout craft, affixed 6 beneath wings. A former Illinois history educator dubbed Bazooka Charlie, he began with 3 in July 1944, escalating to 6 by September, christening it Rosie the Rocketer. Throughout 1944, he demolished 6 tanks, assorted armored wagons, and lorries, garnering the Silver Star and Air Medal. His feats splashed across stars and stripes, one piece jesting he was the Army's most unhinged soul. Carpenter's saga illuminates the bazooka's versatility, foreshadowing contemporary drone tactics. By hostilities' cessation, America forged nearly 500,000 bazookas and exceeded 15 million rockets. Economically, one Sherman's worth equated thousands of launchers plus tens of thousands of projectiles. Pricey German behemoths, tallying tens of thousands in Reichsmarks, fell to $8 shots from teenage grunts. Aftermath reviews affirmed its sway. Around 2 to 5% of European theater German tanks met demise via bazookas, yet mental strain loomed larger. German journals disclosed numerous abandonments, not from impacts, but mere sightings of bazooka squad. Blitzkrieg, the swift armored onslaught that ravaged Europe in 1940, decelerated to trudges courtesy of budget tubes clutched by common troops. The bazooka's heritage spanned past World War II. Pacific Marines harnessed phosphorus loads to purge bunkers and grottos. Iwo Jima witnessed nearly 2,000 firings solo. In Korea, the primal bazooka lagged versus Soviet T-34s, but the upsized 3.5-inch Super Bazooka halted them decisively, reinvigorating infantry poise. Thence, its ethos proliferated globally. Soviet RPG lineages, British law, Swedish Carl Gustaf, all stem directly. The bazooka transcended armament. Culturally, it endures in films like Saving Private Ryan, depicting bazooka clashes with tigers, and games such as Call of Duty. It epitomizes Yankee ingenuity, Innovation from scraps, countering German intricacy. Co-creator Edward Uhl ascended to aerospace executive post-war, passing at 92 in 2010. Bazooka Charlie's Rosie resides in museums, evoking unforeseen heroes. It encapsulated America's forte, not in elaboration but volume, crafting, ease, and faith in rank-and-file warriors. German artisans vaunted tigers as artisanal wonders, scarce in count. The bazooka demonstrated myriad inexpensive arms in citizen fighters' grasps, could vanquish scant tech prodigies. War's twilight saw German panzer chiefs lament bitterly that the Yankee rocket ended tank autonomy. Armor advanced, no more unchallenged. Each thicket, pane, or debris mound could conceal a bazooka crew. Thus, the vaunted Blitzkrieg halted not by rival tanks or colossal artillery, but by the plainest tool brandished by novices. November 8, 1942, on North African sands. That economical, uncomplicated, ruinous tube aided the Third Reich's downfall, one projectile at a time.